Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna. This is Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals. We're down on the floor today, so that must mean it's a book haul. So this is my December and most of January book haul. There are a few other books that I will probably be hauling here shortly because I have some gift cards that I got for Christmas that I will be utilizing to buy books, obviously. So this is not like all of my Christmas gifts, if that makes sense. I'm just not really like, I didn't want to like go out and spend all of them right away, if that makes sense. So these are just a few of the things that I've picked up over the last couple of months. So it's like most of December and then up until now in January. Does that make sense? Sure. I have 18 books here that I'm going to talk about, and while that sounds like a lot, comparatively speaking to the last two book hauls, we're not doing too bad. So anyways, let's talk about this. I have a couple of gifts. I have book of the month. I have a little bit of Goodwill, or it's not really Goodwill, it's Deseret Industries, which is our local thrift store. And then, yeah, that's about it. It's a much smaller pile that I have right here than normal. So I'm racking my brain thinking like, okay, do I have any books anywhere else? And I don't think I do. So there we go. I unhauled a lot of books. I'm gonna do a video on that because I have them sitting in another pile. So I'm actually like kind of feeling good about some things. So anyways, let's just get started. I'm gonna go ahead and start with a gift that I got from one of my really dear friends from college, and I've already read this book. I like read it as soon as I got it, and that is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyan. And this is a Asian inspired fantasy and was just so good. It ended up on my top 10 of the year, which is fantastic, and the cover is beautiful. The naked cover is beautiful. This book is so good. So, and then my book of the month. So in December, I actually skipped a month, and I'm regretting it now because I keep seeing an anonymous girl showing up on a lot of people's hauls and TBRs and stuff, and it sounds more and more interesting, and I knew that was going to happen. So I skipped December. I probably will go back and buy it, but in January, I got two books. So the book that I got that was January's book was Golden State by Ben H. Winters, and this is a dystopian novel that takes place in what used to be California, and the whole system is basically like where you can't tell lies, like everyone has to tell the truth, and so this comes from the perspective of one of the like law enforcement officials that like basically has to regulate whether or not people are telling the truth or not. It seemed very interesting. I've been reading a lot of dystopian lately, and I've been really enjoying it. So I'm like itching to pick it up, even like right now, as we not like right this second, but like I have so many other things that I want to read this month, and like that one, I keep wanting to pick that one up. So who knows? We'll see at the end of the month. And then the other one I picked up was Circe by Madeline Miller. This is my book club Literary Alliance. This is the book that we're reading for January, so I definitely wanted to pick it up and have a physical copy of it, as well as this was the book of the year for book of the month in 2018. I'm not in love with this cover. There's much prettier covers, which kind of saddens me, but yeah. So I may end up switching it out for a better copy at some point in time. But for now, alright, so I did a couple of Goodwill trips, or thrift store trips, and didn't actually get a lot, to be honest. There wasn't a ton of books that I really like had to have, and I was trying to be really like particular in what I was getting. I wasn't just like picking up anything that sounded good, but I did get a couple of, this was like the month of thrillers, to be honest. Like I have some thrillers in my book outlet order. I had some thrillers at a thrift store. So I picked up In a Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I have a very mixed relationship, or like like a mixed relationship. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I have mixed feelings about Ruth Ware because I did not like The Woman in Cabin 10 pretty much at all, but I loved The Death of Mrs. Westaway. So I haven't written her off. We'll see. I've heard mixed things about this one. If I remember correctly, this is the one, and of course it doesn't have like any type of like what this book is about, so that's cool. I think this is the one that's about like a group of women who go and do like a bachelor or like a bachelorette party or something like that. I could be confused with another one of her books, but we shall see. So, Thriller-a-thon is coming up next month, I believe. I don't know the exact dates of it, but there are some, like, I am in a thriller mood right now, so, which is, yeah, I don't know, interesting. So the other one I picked up was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, and I've seen the movie for this, and I loved the movie. It was, like, creepy and weird and really messed up, but I have never read the book for it. So like I said, I've been in a thriller mood this month, and so that means that I've been like picking up thrillers, so we'll see if I actually get any of them read. I promise I'm gonna get better this year. I'm really working on like reading my own books and not going out and like buying new books. Does that make sense? I'm really trying to work on reading the books I own. The other book I picked up was The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I have Since You've Been Gone. I haven't read it yet, but I've heard really good things about this one, and it has dogs in the back, and you know me, and I'm a sucker for my dogs. Ooh, that's a Great Pyrenees. I used to have one of those, that big white dog. I used to have one of those when I was a kid, so. I never realized how big her books are, but they're chunkers. So this is about a girl who, like, her dad is in a political scandal, and so then she becomes, like, a dog walker. Yeah, so there's dogs. There's a romance. Like, what could be better than that? You tell me. Anyways, I have not read anything by Morgan Matson before, but I've heard good things about it, so we shall see. And again, it was like $1. And then, so this was more of a like nostalgia buy than anything else. So this was a book that definitely like got me into reading when I was a kid, or a series that got me into reading when I was a kid, and I absolutely devoured these books. I think every time that the library would get a new copy out, I would be like the first one to check it out. I owned several copies of them, and I have no idea where they are now. Somewhere at a parent's house, I don't know. Anyways, and so that is the Dear America books, and so I was able to find 3 of them at my thrift store. So this is the one from the Titanic. This one it's a like Mayflower, someone who came over on the Mayflower, Pilgrim, there we go, that's what I'm trying to say. And then this one is The Diary of a Slave Girl. So it is, they're very middle grade, they're very young, but they're all done in like diary format, which I think is interesting, and I love that. And so this was just kind of more of like a nostalgia thing than anything else, and so I picked them up. They're in really good condition, and they were very cheap, and they look really good on my shelf. So, and then the last one that I got at the thrift store was Britt Marie Was Here by Frederick Bachman. I have not read anything by Frederick Bachman before, but I really want to get into his work this year. I have A Man Called Ove, is that how you say that? Out from the library right now that I'd like to read this month, and so then I saw this one and I wanted to pick this up as well. Alright, the last thing I have is just my book outlet order, and we'll just dive right in. So, the first one that I'm going to talk about is The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. I've seen several people talk about this. Kylie read it, Kylie Graham, she read it last month, I believe, or early this month, and she was telling me about it, and I heard Kaylee from Dog Eared Page talking about it as well. So a lot of positive reviews about it. It takes place on New Year's Eve, and it is about a girl who like gets stuck in the Denver airport during a blizzard. So I just thought it would be really interesting. It's like she gets stuck on the anniversary of her best friend's death. It is young adult, so I'm not like going in with super high expectations, but I definitely would like to read this, and the cover is just really pretty. The next book I picked up was Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. This is a nonfiction memoir. Anna Kendrick was obviously in Pitch Perfect and several other things, and so I love her as a person, and so I definitely wanted to pick up her book. And I like the pink one. They have a blue cover too, I think, but the pink one's really pretty. And that's a book that will be is going to be one of the prompts for the Pop Sugar Challenge. The next book that I picked up was Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. I just finished Scythe like literally this morning, so that was exciting, and it was so good, but it definitely ended on a cliffhanger, and so I'm excited that I have the second book to pick up so that I can, continue on with the story as soon as possible. The next book finished out my selection series, and that was Happily Ever After by Kiera Cass. This is like the companion novel to the selection series. It's like the 3.5, so it's like, I think it takes place like in between the first 3 and then the second 2. And so it's like they're little short stories. I think there's actually I think it could like fit anywhere in there. I don't know. It has the prince, the guard, the queen, the favorite. So I think like those like fit in different places. Like one of them is actually like a prequel before the selection series even starts. One takes place after the third one. And then a couple of them take place like basically at the same time because they're other characters. So, I love this series. This is like a very cute, just kind of like something to get out of a reading slump. And so I'm excited that I now have the full series. Plus, like they're right here, they look really pretty on my shelf for paperback books anyway. The next book that I picked up was We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This one I picked up, like I've seen a lot of people reading it. I've seen a lot of people do positive reviews about it. I actually like saved it on my Scribd audio, but Sophie from Sophisticated Books read this and like during a vlog and like was crying at the end of it. And I was like, well, I have to see what it's about now. So I'm very excited to pick it up. It's very short. This is one that like if I was doing the Buzzword Readathon, I would definitely be reading, but I'm not participating in it officially. I might still pick it up. We'll see. The next one that I picked up was also based on a recommendation. Kylie read this last month and then also saw Books and Lala read it. Is part of her like reading all the thrillers that Goodreads counted as like a nomination, and that is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen, I think is how you say last name. This is the same author duo that wrote An Anonymous Girl, so that's kind of one of the reasons why I really wanted to pick that book up as well, but I do want to pick this up again. Like I was in a thriller mood. The next book was just kind of like a random, completely random, we'll be honest, and that is My Lady's Choosing by Kitty Curran and Larissa Zagaris. Sure. And it's an interactive choose your own adventure romance book, which I thought was kind of fun. Let's be honest. So I think I might read this next month in February, just to kind of like, I don't know, we'll see. I think there's like some historical, there's futuristic. So I think it's like basically just making fun of the romance genre. Is kind of what it sounds like. But I'm here for it. And then the last book that I picked up, this is anytime I see the Ken Follett books on Book Outlet, I definitely try to pick them up because they're very expensive to buy brand new because they're huge. And so you can buy them like if they just have a little scratch on them, and then it's like $5. So I finished out the Century trilogy by getting Edge of Eternity, so now I have all 3 of them. But yeah, like there's a little bit of like a little scratch on the corner, and they're calling this a scratch and dent copy, and I got it for like $5, and it's like $30 if you were to get it brand new. So I think I can handle a little scratch on the spine. Anyways, those are the books that I picked up in the months of December and January, and yeah, and I think that's all the books. If not, they'll go into next month if I find one that I forgot to haul. I'm gonna definitely try to make some smaller book hauls. This is not bad for like a month and a half. Not bad at all. Anyways, if you are new here and you have not yet subscribed and you would like to, there's a little red button that you can click on and hit the notification bell. And all of the links to my social media are down in the description below if you would like to be my friend on any other platform. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye.